Oh, I'm being attacked by spiders. That's real.
It took me all summer to figure this out. So this is an incredible moment. It took me months, and I finally got it down.
I'm really hoping that this comes out great.
A little disappointing. I'm spending so much time and hours and my days off to go out and practice, and then my footage just comes out terrible.
I just have some fun and mess around with my drone for a little bit. Try to get some like opening shots or something. I'm aware of this. I know trying to like hold my camera, filming my drone at the same time is not easy. Oh my God. So I'm really hoping that this comes out great. I also wanted to stop and take a pause for a minute, taking a nice peaceful break in nature, kind of get away from everything and everyone and just breathe a little bit. But anyway, I want to take a moment to thank everybody who actually has been following along, who's been actually watching my videos. I know they're not really all that interesting right now, because once I get these cameras right, then I can move on to my next phase of learning filmmaking. And once I get my cameras and get the skills where I need them to be, then I can actually start getting into video editing and actually making some good videos. Video editing is where it all comes together. But I can't get the video editing unless I get my footage right. So that's what I've been doing all summer, is just doing the best I can to learn my cameras. And I'm hoping that all this practice, all this summer that I've done, all the parks I've come to, and everything that I've been doing will pay off. And for those who watched my videos, and I thank you for following along my journey. Also, I feel like these videos will be references to those who want to be future filmmakers and who are struggling, and just to keep going, to keep practicing, and you'll get there. It seems like a perfect spot to get some great shots in. Kind of wish I had somebody to actually film myself doing this, but that's all right. It's just how it goes. I guess I could just maybe set this down. All right, let's see if I can find a good spot here. There's see, these are the difficult things about these shots. It's very, very difficult to expose this correctly without your darks getting, well, too dark. And when that happens, when you try to bring it up in post-production, the colors just don't come out right. So I'm gonna see if I can find a sweet spot here rather than try to battle myself. See, I got way too many shadows coming off that bridge. See, no, I've already messed up. Basically, what frustrates me is I like all shots. Like, I hate being limited to that. I have to adjust the camera based on the lighting. If I want a certain shot, I want to be able to take it. And that's the challenging of filmmaking, is that you can't just film every single thing that you want to if you're wanting it to be exposed properly. My biggest takeaway here is that now I know why people choose to film during certain times of the day. But anyway, sometimes it's just about learning how to get creative. And then I'm done with this part. Okay, I lied. I'm gonna get one more shot, and then I'm gonna go fly some drones, and then I'm gonna call it a day. Well, something interesting that I discovered. I've been using the rule of thirds grid for my ZV-E10 camera, and I realized it's throwing me off. I feel like maybe I was trying too hard to follow all these rules with this grid, trying to make sure everything's perfect. But honestly, before I started using it, my shots were actually better. And I kept trying to figure out, why was my shots from my vacation better than the ones I'm doing now? I think it's because I'm overthinking. Naturally, I already use the rule of thirds in a lot of my shooting, but I don't need it. I feel like I can get better shots without it. The grid is just getting in my way. I'm gonna take it off this time. So I'm gonna try slog 3. I feel like the image is actually pretty good. With the dynamic range is definitely much better. I am just struggling so much with this camera and I don't know why. I really hope I get it right this time. Last time I thought I was gonna get it right, and then I failed again miserably. The shots were terrible, so I will never use the stabilization on this camera ever again. We'll see how this turns out. Sometimes you just, okay, get back in here. Sometimes you gotta break the rules. You just have to have an eye for what you're doing. You gotta trust your instincts when it comes to filming. You can look in your image and see what's good and what isn't. I mean, all these technical things are good. The thing is, there really is no rules when it comes to filmmaking. It depends on what you want and what you're looking for and what you want in your image. The rules are a guide to help you establish what you want the best, but you have to trust in your instincts as well, and that's what I'm finding out. I think I got a good shot here. Stick the camera here. I just hope I don't fall to my death. I didn't realize these were thorn bushes and it's sticking in my hand. And I'm bleeding. That sucks. Man, that thing went deep. I need to learn to trust my instincts. I've been so reliant trying to learn all these tools and instruments and settings. I need to get back to my natural instincts. Doing that will go further along than just trying to get the settings right. But the biggest takeaway here is I don't think it's the problem that I was having with my camera. I think the problem was me. Yes, the settings are important for sure. You know, you gotta make sure your meter's right, you're not overexposing anything, make sure you're not clipping anything. And I think now that I'm learning to trust myself and use my talent, I can produce better results. So that's kind of where I'm at. I am failing so miserably, so I decided to go back to the basics. I actually turned all my zebra settings off also. I know that a lot of people will destroy me for turning off the zebra settings. I really personally don't care. I do rely heavily on the graph though to get my image correct. It's hard to do anything because there's like 800 million people I keep walking by. It literally took me an hour to move like 10 feet. I really hope I master the camera this time. I have spent the whole summer trying to figure this out and I just cannot get it right. But when I was on my vacation, the footage was a lot better and I couldn't figure out why. Well, it actually had to do with the humidity. So I didn't take that into consideration. When I was at Lake Erie, closer to the lake, a lot of the light was actually diffused from the actual humidity. And because of that, everything was softer. So that's why I was able to get better dynamic range with the Cine 2 profile. Then I realized that I'm overthinking everything. It all boils down to what you want in your actual image. I mean, if something's overexposed, I personally don't really care if it's part of the image that I want, if it's what I'm going for. I don't care if I lose detail in certain spots, if it looks good in the image. That's the only thing that matters to me. I can look in the image and actually know if it's going to be too bright, too dark. The lesson is the tools and the settings are meant to be there to guide you on what you want, but ultimately it's your decision. Ultimately, it is yours alone. There's no rules to this. The only thing that matters is what's interesting and what's not interesting, and what looks good and what doesn't look good. The tools are meant to help guide you, but they're not rules to follow all the time. I wasn't even recording the whole time. So this is Cine 2. This is actually with the movie profile, which I'm wondering if I actually used that. I didn't. And I overexposed this image by 0.3 stops. And I don't even know if that's a thing, to be honest. I can't do it. Literally, it's taken me 7 years just to get an image. slog 2 exposed at the correct stop, which is overexposed by 2. And we got slog 2. Or no, it's not. This is slog 3. What am I talking about? Okay, slog 3. Scratch that. I hope that I actually watch this whole clip to the very end, which I will. I hate when there's a lot of people who can't get anything done. Okay. I love this shot. I think hopefully now it's time to enter the next phase of my filmmaking journey. Okay, that's all I have.
Well, I finally figured it out. So, when I was comparing my color profiles, the S-Log3, the S-Log2, and S-Log3 tremendously helps me with my dynamic range. So even in some harsh lighting conditions, I was able to get some pretty good footage. It took me all summer to figure this out. So this is a very massive leap in my filmmaking journey. So now that I know how to get the camera right, I can finally move on to the next phase. So this is an incredible moment. So all the hours that I put in and all the time, and I'd say overall at least a good 40 hours going out into the woods and trying to film, and I finally got it down. So footage is absolutely amazing. So yeah, it's time to step my game up. Kind of sounded lame, but whatever. Alright, yeah, that's it.